Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Ali and currently I'm working and learning in the cybersecurity field with strong focus on SOC and defensive security. Over the last several months, I've been studying and working on hands-on SOC related concepts, labs, and real-world scenarios. In this video, I want to share that experience in a simple and practical way, especially for those who are interested in trying to understand how SOC actually works. Before we start, let me quickly explain what this video is meant for. This video is for people interested in cybersecurity, beginners exploring blue or red team, students or career switchers, or anyone who simply wants a clearer understanding of how security operations work in real life. No matter what your background, this video will be useful for you. Let's begin. Before I explain to you guys what a SOC is, first of all, I need to explain to you the two main sides of cybersecurity, the blue team and the red team. First of all, the red team represents the offensive side of cybersecurity. This includes roles such as penetration testing, web application testing, mobile testing, and attack simulation. Their job is like the attacker, find a weakness before the real attacker does. On the other hand, we have Blue Team. It's the defensive side of cybersecurity. Their role is to protect systems, detect attacks, respond to incidents, and keep the organization secure on a day-to-day basis. While red teaming may sound a little bit cooler than blue teaming is absolutely critical for real-world security operations. Now that we understand the difference between a blue team and a red team, let's talk about what a SOC is. SOC, or Security Operations Center, is a blue team function. It's responsible for monitoring security events, detecting threats, investigating incidents, responding to attacks. A security usually operates 24/7 for 365 days a year, which pretty much the entire year, and acts as the first line of defense for an organization. Inside a SOC, there are different roles and levels, commonly called tiers. There have three tiers: Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Tier 1, also known as the junior/entry level, this is the place that you would usually start as a SOC analyst. You are usually the first line of defense as a Tier 1. Your responsibilities are monitoring alerts, triage and initial analysis, identifying false positives, escalating suspicious activity. Their role is often where people enter cybersecurity. As I said, this is the place that usually you would start off as. Now we have a SOC Tier 2, which is the intermediate. Tier 2 analysts handle more complex investigations. They perform deeper analysis, validate incidents, investigate malware, and they also support incident response. This role requires more technical knowledge and experience. SOC Tier 3, Senior/Expert. Tier 3 analysts are highly experienced. Usually they have 5 or more even years of experience. They know a lot of knowledge. They usually handle advanced threats, lead incident response, perform threat hunting, improve detection rules and processes. They often work closely with the engineers and management. There's also a SOC manager. Okay, now the skills required for a SOC analyst. You might be familiar with some of these, you might not. That's fine. Many people shifted into SOC without knowing anything from majors not even related to cybersecurity, and they were able to study all of this. It won't be hard, you just need to focus, okay? Let's start with the technical skills first. A strong foundation in networking basics, Windows and Linux, malware and phishing concepts, authentication, and access control. You can find many of these on YouTube. There are courses by professionals explaining these, so don't worry about it. Now we have tools and exposure. This really depends on the company. Companies might use something else. It really depends, but it should be like better to have, an idea of these. SIM platforms, endpoint logs, basic scripting is helpful. Not really, you don't really need to have it. It's helpful. We have analytic skills, the ability to think critically. This is really important. You need to have the SOC mindset, so you know what alert you might need to escalate, what alert that might be a false positive. You need to have this mindset, a SOC analyst mindset. Correlate data from different sources. Stay calm under pressure. Trust me, this is something you need. A SOC analyst is always going to be under pressure, especially tier ones, especially SOC tier 1. You're going to be under pressure a lot. And avoid jumping to conclusions. Also, these are like the SOC mindset, okay? You need to have this to be able to work in SOC, and trust me, having these will be so beneficial. Then we have SOC skills. Communication is extremely important. You will be communicating with team members, seniors, tier 2s and tier 3s, even people from outside of your department. You need this. Writing clear reports for even people that are not technical. Explain incidents for, if in case someone new joins the company and you want to teach them. And work with other team members during security events. Now I prepared a practical demo that I will be solving on Try to Hack Me. The link will be in the description so you can solve along with me. This is the lab we will be solving. It's a SOC level 1 alerting report. It's a Try Hack Me lab. The link will be in the description. If you can, pause the video, try to solve it. If you can't and you have any problem, continue the video and I will solve it in front of you. First of all, let's read the introduction. During or after alert triage, level 1 analyst, also as we said, tier 1 analyst, this is the junior, may be uncertain about how to classify the alert, requiring senior support or information from the system owner. Senior support as in tier 2 or tier 3, someone with more knowledge in the field. Also, level 1 analysts may deal with real cyber attacks and breaches that need immediate attention and remediation action. This room covers these cases by introducing three terms: alert reporting, escalation, and communication. Okay, let's solve this. The learning objectives and stuff don't really matter to me. Let's just continue. Let's press check. And let's start with task 2. Okay, task 2. In the previous room, you learned how to classify and triage alerts, but you might be curious about what happens next. How does your triage help prevent threats and start breaches? This is a whole new topic that this room will cover soon. But for now, let's recall the paths of the analyst alert. First, level 1 analysts receive the alerts in a SIM, EDR, or ticket management platform. Now you might be asking yourself, what is a SIM and what is an EDR? This is stuff that I didn't cover in the PowerPoint. I prefer to not cover these kind of things because I prefer that, when you solve something usually and you find stuff that you don't know, you usually memorize it better because you have something to go back to if you forget it. Like for now, okay? If I now explain the SIM and you forget it, but you solve this lab, you will have something to go back to remember what a SIM is. Now, if you want to know what a SIM is, we can click here to read about it. What is a SIM? A SIM also stands for Security Information and Management System. It's used to aggregate security information in the form of logs, alerts, artifacts, and events into a centralized platform that would allow security analysts to perform near real-time analysis during security monitoring. Okay, what is an EDR? EDR also stands for Endpoint Detection and Response. It's a series of tools that monitor devices for activity that could indicate a threat. Now, a SIM, we will see it down in the, I think in task 3, we will be using a SIM in the lab. Okay, so don't worry about that. And then EDR, it's pretty self-explanatory with the description that they gave us. Okay, any questions you guys have, you can keep in the down description. I will answer each question I can. Okay, let me just explain this image real quick. Here we have the level 1, a typical VPN login, MS Defender alert, RDP proofers. RDP stands for Remote Desktop Protocol. I'm pretty sure it's self-explanatory. Okay, then we have noise filtering and escalation of real threats to level 2. Okay, what does this mean? It means, like, let's say this level 2 is working normally. He gets this threat that he doesn't know. Is it good? Is it bad? False positive? True positive? He doesn't know. The first time he sees it, he's a level 1. He doesn't have that much knowledge. So what he does is he escalates it to the level 2. As we see, escalation to level 2. The level 2, with more knowledge, with more experience, he knows this. Maybe he's seen it before, he studied about it, so he knows what this is. Deep investigation and remediation. Start off incident response if needed. Okay, then we have DFIR, we'll see about it more down. Incident handling and forensics, cross-team communication, and finally, the ultimate goal of this whole thing, the blue team, the ultimate goal of it, it's to protect the corporate data. Okay, let's continue. Alert reporting. Before closing or passing the alert to level 2, you might have to report it. Depending on the team standards and alert severity, instead of a short alert comment, you can be required to document your investigation in detail, ensuring all the relevant evidence is included. This is especially important for true positives, which require escalation. After alert escalation, if the true positive alert requires additional action or deeper investigation, escalate to the level 2 analyst for further review. Following the agreed procedure, that's where your alert report comes in handy, since level 2 will use it to get the initial context and spend less on the analysis from scratch. Okay, communication. You may also need to communicate with other departments during or after the analysis. For example, ask the IT team if they can confirm granting administrative privileges to some user or contacting the HR to get more information about the new hired employee. Okay, let me give you this quick example, like a scenario, so you can understand this better. Let's say you're a SOC analyst tier 1, okay? And you're looking through the alerts and you see someone in the alerts named Zach has now admin privileges in the company, okay? Who is Zach? How did they get admin privileges? Did someone in the team give them that? That's the questions you should be asking. Who is Zach? You go to the HR team. Hello, is there a new person that you hired in the company? Okay, is their name Zach? If they say yes, you continue. Do you check with the IT team? Hello, there's this new hired person. Their name is Zach. What role should they have in the company? They say, okay, for example, they have admin privileges. Okay, then the alert is true. That's what it means. You confirm with the IT team or contact the HR for extra information. Now, let's start with the questions. Answer the questions below. What is the process of passing suspicious alerts to an level 2 analyst for review? Give you time to think in case you know the answer. Okay, answer these two questions and then let's continue. Okay, I'm going to answer now. Now, if you go up, they said new terms reporting, escalation, and communication. Okay, let's say we think it's escalation. We see that there's a word before escalation, alert escalation. Okay, we solved that one. Okay, question two. What is the process of formally describing alerts, details, and findings? Okay, so we have three terms as we said: reporting, escalation, and communication. We already use escalation, so it's either communication or reporting. The thing with communication, it's where, as I give you the scenario, we go and communicate with the team, asking them questions to know more. Okay, we're not describing the alert, we're getting more information. If you go to the alert reporting, we see that we are required to document your investigation in detail. Okay, so the answer is alert reporting. Okay, so if you finish task one and task two, let's start with task three. Before we move on, it's essential to clarify why anyone would want a level 1 analyst to write reports in addition to marking them as true or false positives, and why this topic cannot be underestimated. Having level 1 analysts write alert reports serves several key purposes. First of all, provide context for escalation. A well written report saves a lot of time for a level 2 analyst. Also, it helps them quickly understand what happened. Save findings for records. Raw SIM, remember, we talked about SIM. Raw SIM logs are stored for 3 to 12 months, but alerts are kept indefinitely. As a result, it's better to keep all the context inside the alert just in case. Improve investigation skills. If you cannot explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Reporting writing is a great way to boost level 1 skills by summarizing alerts. Okay, now let me explain this to you guys. Okay, in case you don't understand what's going on, let me give you this scenario. Let's say we are the tier 1. Okay, currently we're working at this tier 1 and we see user added to group. Okay, you click on the alert to see who has been added to the group. You see Zach has been added to the sales team. Okay, you don't know who Zach is. You're still tier 1, so you probably don't know most of the people at the company. You don't have enough knowledge to know these people that work with you. You know the tier 2, that's it, because that's the guy you always talk to. You send them the alerts. So, Zach, sales group, this to you, this is suspicious. This is someone hacking in the system because you don't know who Zach is. But you can't like go and say, "Oh, this is suspicious, guys. This guy's hacking. Let me block him out from the company," because it might be false positive. You escalate it, but without just escalating, sending the alert to the tier 2, you tell them, hey, Zach has been added to the sales group at this time, at this date, from this IP address. Now, the tier 2 doesn't even have to look at the alert. He just looks at the comment you gave him. Okay, I know Zach. Yeah, he's like new to the company. He works at the sales team. He reads it. You just saved him so much time. And not only that, you just gain knowledge because the tier 2 might come back to you and tell you, oh, don't worry, Zach is a new member. Okay, if you see alerts from him with this IP address, you don't have to escalate it. It's fine. You just gain knowledge about the company, and at the same time, you gain knowledge more about groups. Okay, now you know there's a sales group and stuff like that. Report format. Imagine yourself as a level 2 analyst. A DFIR, and I didn't explain it in the image because I want you guys to go through with me. This lab will help you gain a lot of knowledge. What is the DFIR? Digital forensics and incident response. This is another role in SOC. Okay, I didn't really cover it. Doesn't really matter because I just wanted to focus on like SOC analysts. Okay, now let's continue. Or an IT professional who needs to understand the alert. What would you want to see in the report? We recommend you follow the 5 W's. approach and include at least these items in the report. Who, which user logs in, runs the command, or downloads the file. Remember? Okay, 5 Ws. Let me start talking about them. Even though we already talked about them, but you didn't notice. Who? Remember when I said Zach? When I told you the example, I was telling you it to like tie it with this. Zach, which user logs in, runs the command, or downloads the file. Here in our situation, he joined the sales group. What action or event sequence was performed? As we said, remember, he joined the sales group. When? When did this suspicious activity start and ended? Remember what I said? When we go to tell the tier 2, we tell them what time it happened. And as we can see in the screenshot, they put it at, like, for example, here at 1356 UTC. Okay? Where, of course, the IP address is really important. Because someone malicious might already knows that Zach works and he should be a sales in the sales group. But it doesn't have to be Zach. He can disguise himself as Zach with a different IP. That's why the IP is important, because we know that Zach has this exact IP address. But why does Zach have a different one? Then this is malicious now. Why? The most important W. The reason for your final verdict. Here we talked with the tier 2, and he told us that he's a new employee, and we already talked about these up here. And I hope you understood them. Again, if you have any questions, please leave them at the comment section, and I will get back to you. Now let's get in the real deal. According to the SOC dashboard, which user email leaked the sensitive document? Now, if we click on this should open for you. Try Hack Me Sim. Remember, I told you we're going to start working on the sim. This is the sim. We have time, name, this is the name of the alert, severity, okay, depending on how critical it is, status, if it's already open, if it's already done, closed. Here we have the first two that they're still waiting action, and the person assigned to them. And if we click here, we can find more information about the alert. Okay, now they said which user email leaked. Okay, sensitive document. Okay, email leaked. If we go here, it said sensitive document, right? Sensitive document shared to external, which should not be sharing sensitive data to someone external. So let's click on this to read more about it. Google Drive document stored inside an important folder was shared outside the organization to a personal email. Very critical stuff. This could be passwords, this could be login information about the users, their IP addresses, where they live, stuff like that. This is stuff you don't want to leave the company. Okay, and there's more information. And the question is, which user leaked the sensitive document? Okay, let's check the source email address. So this should be the person who did it. Paste. Correct. Okay. Looking at the new alerts, who is the sender of the suspicious, likely phishing email? Okay. As we can see, you can close this one. Email marked as phishing. They want sender of the phishing email. Click here. Okay. And what do they want the sender? Okay. We can see the sender right here, as it says sender. Support at Microsoft.com. Enter. Check. Correct. Okay, open the phishing alert and read its details and try to understand the activity using the 5Ws template. What flag did you receive after writing the good report? Okay, try to solve it your own. If you have any problem, you can come back and unpause the video. Now I'm going to solve it. First, this is the phishing alert, and I prefer we have uh, two of these, so I can have the information here and I can write from here, okay? Because when you do this, you can't read anymore. First of all, let's start the user. We have the user here. Oh wait, here, this one is filtered, so this one's first, but this one isn't. So this one, the user support at Microsoft.com. Okay, as you
As you
see,
can see,
SPF fail,
25%
DKIM fail. What do these
has
two mean?
sent
And why did
an
we put them in
email
the comment?
marked
First of all,
as
SPF fail.
phishing
It means that the sending IP is not authorized by the domain's
that
SPF
failed,
records. And
sorry,
DKIM fail
that
means that
failed
the email's cryptographic signature does not match the expected signature. This means that
the
the person
security
sending this email is probably someone impersonating this company. For example,
check.
here, this person probably impersonating
Okay,
Microsoft.
and you might be asking, okay, the user, we already understand why we put that marked as phishing, and
that failed the security checks. Okay, so we just copy this and we did it. Save, copy, and paste. One thing I should clarify is to solve this, you didn't need to put the timestamp as you saw. I don't know if it saves. Okay. Usually, if you look at previous alerts that has been sent, like comments, you start with the timestamp. But here, since it doesn't really help with like solving the question, I didn't really put it, but you should. Usually in your SOC job, you do put you start with the time. It's literally the most important thing. Okay, since we solved, like I'm gonna close this. Okay, and we solved this part. Now let's do task 4. After you made a verdict and written your alert report, you must choose whether to escalate the alert to tier 2. Again, the answer may differ from team to team, but following the recommendation would generally fit most SOC teams. You should escalate the alert if the alert is an indicator of a major cyber attack requiring deeper investigation of or DFIR. Remediation action like malware removal, host in isolation, or password reset are required. Communication with customers, partners, and management or law enforcement agencies is required. You do not fully understand the alert and need some help from more senior analysts. This is, the last one is the most common one, that why you would escalate. It's the most one that you would do. Usually as a tier 1, till you have more knowledge, then you would probably go to the first 3. But usually, as a SOC analyst tier 1, it's mostly you don't understand what's happening. Escalation steps. And to escalate the alert, in most cases, all you have to do is reassign the alert to that level 2 on shift, and ping them in the corporate chat or in person. In some teams, though, you may be required to create a formal written escalation request with dozens of required fields. Usually, you would send them a message on Teams like, "Hey, this happened." Or if you work with them, I guess you could just go communicate with them. I don't really know, but like usually with my knowledge, usually it would be on Teams. You would just send them a screenshot or something of the related to the alert, and then they would get. Okay, let's look at this scenario. Hey, M. Clark from HR got phished again and entered her password credentials into a fake login page. Might need to contact her and retweet the credentials. Hey, thank you. Review the alert ASAP. Now then, the level 2, rotate user credentials, resets her password, and make sure that her account is safe, and they usually would isolate the account so the account doesn't really do anything suspicious in case the user already has access to that. Remind the user about the phishing risk. Of course, this is something really important that it's really important because HR and stuff like that and sales team, they don't really care about security, so they don't know they might mess up. That's why you should always remind people around you about the importance of security and not clicking on random links and not selling your data for people randomly. Be cautious with your information. Let's continue. No matter what the agreements are, level 2 will eventually receive the ticket from you, read your report, and contact you in any questions. Once everything is clear, the level 2 analyst will typically research the alert the details further, validate if the alert is needed, indeed a true positive, communicate with other departments if needed, and for major incidents, start a formal incident response process. Requesting level 2 support. If it is generally fine for level 1 to request senior support if something is unclear, especially if in your first month, and this is something that you will definitely do a lot. In your first couple of months at the SOC analyst tier 1, you will definitely be contacting your tier 2s a lot, and this is something that you should be doing to improve as a SOC analyst. It's always better to discuss the alert and clarify SOC procedures than to blindly close the alert you don't understand yourself. The procedure for requesting support may differ, but the flow generally looks like this. And again, before I read, it's better to be sure of something than to be shy and like scared that you might look stupid. It's better to look stupid than to ruin the whole company. Now let's read. Hey, I'm stuck on one alert named reflective DDL injection. To be honest, not sure how to triage it correctly. Can you help me? He sends the alert. Hey, got it. Let me have a quick call. Plan knowledge sharing session for all of. Yeah. So usually they would open a call. This is usually something they would do weekly. A weekly call. The tier 2 or tier 3 would get on call with the tier 1s, give them more knowledge, help them out. So one day these tier 1s can be tier 2s. SOC dashboard escalation move the alert to in progress status and do the analysis. Write an alert report and set your verdict, such as true positive. If escalation is required, assign the alert to tier 2 on the L2 on the shift. Tier 2 will receive a notification and start from the update report. Okay, who is your current level 2 in the SOC dashboard that you can assign escalate the alert to? Okay, let me see. Uh, EL Fleming? Okay, alright. What flag did you receive after correctly escalating the alert from the previous task to level 2? Okay, let's do this. Okay, so as we know, click on this. And as you can see, the analyst comment for me changed because I accidentally reset. So I had to just redo it. I just put the answers they check for to make sure if it's correct or not. First of all, we put the analyst level 2, which is this one. We don't put new because the analyst that's level 2 should be working on it, so it's in progress. And the verdict, true positive, false positive. We should put true positive. Send. Okay. Copy. We have that. Check. Now investigate the second new alert in the queue and provide a detailed alert comment. Then decide if you need to escalate this alert and move on according to the process. After you finish your triage, you should receive a flag with your answer, which is your answer, sorry. So I'm guessing it's this one. There's nothing written, so let's check. First, we open here to read more information about this. Spike of domain discovery commands. Detected a spike of commands like who am I, net user, and get AAD user, often used during AD domain discovery, unless the commands are confirmed to be part of the IT activity or legitimate scripts. The device is likely compromised and requires immediate containment. Okay, here we're saying unless the commands are confirmed to be the part of IT activity, contaminate device. Why are we contaminating the device? When contaminate the device, imagine this person has a virus. Would you let them freely roam the place and give that virus to other people, or would you contaminate them in their home and tell them to not leave? That's why we should contaminate them so this person does not harm the company even more. We instantly contaminate that device, so that device is not connected to the internet on the company. They can't like do anything malicious. That's it. Invoked commands, dir host name. Okay, and then we have the command host OS user source process parent process and create parent process. Okay. Okay, let's solve this. First of all, of course, as I said, in progress. Now to write this command at 1956, we can come here and read. And let me explain a little bit what's going on here. As you notice, okay, this is the user's device. Okay, this is the host name. This is the OS they're using, and this is the user. Usually, okay, since we can see here in the source process, it's CMD. Okay, think of it like this. Usually you can open CMD as a normal user, as an admin, and this is the highest level. Okay, so this is probably something really critical, and I'm guessing, if I'm not wrong, this is someone who isn't in the IT team, because we have reverse shell here, and there's three processes that ran each after each other. So this process ran this process, and that process ran this process. Okay, so we would say whatever that timestamp is, the user device. Okay, let's do that. Let's put the user device, which would be this one. And put their operating system too. Okay, which is this one. And add a spike in commands. And one thing I'm just gonna say, um, I'm not gonna put the commands used because they won't help with the answer. Like they won't increase the authenticity. But if in a usual SOC job, you would put them and you should put them. It's not like a question. You should, because these could help a lot with the investigation. Okay, so I'm gonna say the source process. The source process. Okay, put it between brackets. Was spawned by the parent process Okay. By the parent process, we would copy this. And there. Okay. We could also talk about the grandparent process, which we should, as I said, but I'm just trying to solve the lab. Okay. Save. Okay. And as we can see, even though we solved it, we didn't get the code, which means we have to escalate it. So, true positive. And there it is. I put the code. And there. Now, the final SOC communication. The escalation and the reporting topics should sound straightforward and logical to you, but as always, it's easier said than done. And you should be prepared for unexpected scenarios and know what to do in critical cases. In the best scenario, the SOC team has its own crisis communication procedure, the guides and processes to help you and your team resolve the issue. If not, you're advised to read the cases below and be prepared to handle them effectively. Usually, in the company, depending on the company, they would give you sets of procedures that you would do when this something happens, what you should be doing, how to work, and stuff like that. But again, it said, in case not, let's read what happens. You need to escalate an urgent critical alert, but level 2 is unavailable and does not respond in 30 minutes. You call them. That's something I didn't even read to read it because I know you call them, and in case they don't answer, you have to call the level 3. Am I right? First try to call level 2 and then level 3 and finally the manager. Usually the level 2 usually answer with the call. In case they don't, level 3. And usually level 3 answers. You never have to call your manager. The alert about Slack/Teams account compromise requires you to validate the login with the affected user. As we said, you remember the Zach and the group policy. I mean, as I said, remember Zach and how we talked about the sales group that he was in, how we had to validate. You receive an overwhelming number of you receive an overwhelming number of alerts during a short period of time, some which are critical. Prioritize the alerts according to the workflow, but inform your L2 on the shift about the situation. This does happen a lot. Um, Again, as we said in the beginning, you need to be able to work under pressure because you will be a lot under pressure. After a few days, you realize that you are misclassified the alert. And after a few days, you realize that you misclassified the alert and likely missed an malicious action. Immediately reach out to the level 2, explaining your concern. Their actors can be silent for weeks before impact. You cannot complete the alert triage since the SIM logs are not parsed correctly or not searched. Do not skip the alert. Investigate what you can and report. Yeah, this what this means. In case like there's an alert and like there's no description, there's nothing. That means it's not hasn't been parsed yet. So the information that the raw data that alert, because the alert doesn't go with and instantly is in a description and the stuff. Usually the alert starts in a jumble of information. It could be JSON, it could be CSV and other stuff, and then um like they get parsed. But in case it's not parsed and the information is just their raw data, you can just read through it and try to find out what you can to do the case. Communication by level 2. Should you first try to contact your manager in case of a critical alert? Remember what we said, L2, L3, then finally manager. You immediately contact your level 2 if you think you missed the attack? Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay, and that's it. We solved it. Wow. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And again, if you have any questions, please keep them down in the comment section. I'll try to get back to you. Thank you for watching, and I will try to be posting more videos about SOC, stuff more a little bit critical, stuff a little bit more hard. So please keep waiting for it. So please be ready for that. Thank you, and hope you had a good time.